We got 17 goals being scored in one game, the NHL's golden boy is getting in the mix, and the league has been completely taken by storm by a 6'7" rookie. The NHL got weird in week 21, so let's cover everything that happened in this video.
Sunday, Stadium Series. The Rangers and the Islanders went toe-to-toe at MetLife for the Stadium Series on Sunday, and I actually can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think I finally watched my first exciting Islanders game. That's because in the past, when the Islanders grabbed a 4-1 lead, the game was usually over. But the Rangers clawed back in this one, and a late goal in the third would force OT. Artemi Panera-Bread yoinks this cross-ice pass and makes the Islanders pay, and the Rangers take a classic at MetLife Stadium. In other news, Jaromir Jagr took warm-ups for the Penguins as they retired his number prior to the match before the Kings. It was awesome to see all the Penguins rocking a mullet and a Jagr jersey, while the 52-year-old Jagr was just buzzing around in warm-ups himself. The Penguins could have certainly used him though, as they lost this game 2-1 to the Kings. And of course, the one goal that was scored for the Penguins was by Crosby himself. GM Kyle Dubas addressed the media saying that the Penguins are running out of time as the trade deadline looms. But honestly, every damn week, this team finds a way to disappoint me and Sidney Crosby. Meanwhile, over in Colorado, the Nate Dogg extended his home point streak to give the Yotes their 9th straight loss.
Before we hop into Monday, I want to thank VaporFresh for sponsoring today's video. VaporFresh is a non-toxic plant-based spray that cleans and deodorizes equipment the right way. I live in a condo, so I give my equipment a quick little spray of VaporFresh, and then I hang it up to dry. When it's time to play, my equipment is back to smelling fresh, and I'm ready to go. You can grab your bottle today for 10% off by clicking the link in our description.
Monday, Circus Canucks. Monday night saw the Wild take on the league-leading Vancouver Canucks, and we witnessed firsthand what it would be like if beer league goalies played in the NHL. Both Gustafsson and DeSmith had a rough night between the pipes, as they allowed 17 total goals between the two of them. JT Miller would record a hat trick in this one to make it 5-2 for the Canucks with 5 minutes left in the second, and then just everything fell apart. Vancouver would get into some penalty trouble, and the Wild scored 6 goals in a span of 5 minutes and 45 seconds, making it the fastest flurry in the NHL in over 25 years. Joel Eriksson-Ek would get a hattie for the Wild, and Kaprizov would later join him as he pots the empty netter to complete the circus that was this game. In Seattle, Patrick Kane would record his 800th assist and extended his point streak to 5 games. Alex Lyon had a huge game for the Wings, making 38 saves, and the Wings are holding on for dear life to that last wildcard spot in the East. Connor Bedard is so back, and Chicago Blackhawks fans can finally watch games without wanting to claw their eyes out. They call him Bubble Bedard, and he isn't backing down from anyone. He eats a reverse hit, welcome to the show, how are ya? And then he starts to mix it up with goalie Spencer Martin. Bedard doesn't like that, so he gives him a stick back, and the kid comes back a few moments later, scores, and then stares down Martin in the process. Ballsy Bedard is a menace, and Martin just points to the scoreboard like, "Pal, you're still down by 4 goals and you guys suck." Bedard would get one more later and then an assist to make it a 3-point night, and the Hawks still lost 6-3, but Bubble Bedard or Ballsy Bedard, whatever you want to call him, is officially back and the league is better for it. Tuesday, the Panther problem. In the NHL right now, the one team that I'd avoid like the plague in the playoffs is the Florida Panthers. Tuesday, they took on the Sens in the Kachuk Bowl, and like usual between these two teams, there tends to be fireworks. Bobrovsky didn't like Brady Tkachuk getting in his face, so he decided to give him a quick shot. Only in hockey is it totally okay for you to punch your teammate's brother in the face. Aside from the usual rough stuff, the Panthers went up 2-0, and Ottawa would storm back to tie it with a gross goal from Timmy Stützle. However, the Panthers handled business in OT, and that gives them their 6th straight victory, as they've won 10 out of their last 11. Now, how about Quinton Byfield here with this ridiculous goal? He goes in between Zach Werenski's legs, kicks it back up to his stick, and finishes on his backhand while on one knee in the midst of falling. That is good for our VaporFresh disgusting goal of the week, as the Kings cruise past the Jackets to pick up their 4th win in a row. After the circus game against the Wild, the Canucks would lose to the Avs, and that's their first time this season losing 3 straight. The Rangers keep on rolling as Igor Shesterkin made 41 saves against a solid Stars team, to pick up their 8th straight win as the Rangers continue to be on fire. To cap off Tuesday, Ovechkin got 2 goals and now he's officially on fire. The big Russian machine has 8 goals in 8 games after only scoring 8 in his first 46 games. The Caps beat the Devils 6-2 as they attempt to be the last wildcard team to sneak into the playoffs. Wednesday, 51-54. Wednesday was a bit light in terms of games, but Leaf fans got to witness Matthews scoring 50 and 51 in his hometown of Arizona. Matthews is the quickest American-born NHLer to hit 50 goals in a campaign, and he's currently on pace to hit 76 on the season. No one has hit 50 this quickly since Mario Lemieux went 50 and 50 in 1995 and 96. What we're seeing out of Matthews this season has been unthinkable considering how hard it is to score goals against modern defenses and goaltenders. It's an insane run that now has him right in the middle of the Hart conversation, and as good as Kucherov and McKinnon have been this season, I think scoring 70 goals might be too great to ignore, but let us know what you think in the comments down below. The Leafs handled Arizona winning 6-3, and that means that they went a perfect 5-0 during Riley's suspension. How fitting. The other late game saw the Bruins versus the Oilers, and this would be an all-time Stanley Cup matchup. Boston took a 4-1 lead halfway through the second, but Edmonton wouldn't go away and would score 3 straight to make it a tied game. Boston would score late in the third to take the lead, and net front legend Zach Hyman ties it up late to force OT. Oilers had a great chance to win it on the power play, but a cheeky toe drag from McAvoy would lead to the dagger. The Bruins avoid disaster, and that win puts them back into being first in the East. Thursday, buzzer beater chaos. In a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Final, this was the closest thing to a playoff game that you'll get in February. Both goalies were absolute studs in this game, resulting in a 0-0 game until about the final minute in the third. With 19 seconds remaining, Sebastian Aho would come up clutch with a quick wrister to beat Bobrovsky and ultimately seal the game. Of course, it wouldn't be a Panther game if Florida didn't go down without starting a scrap. The buzzer goes to end the game and pure chaos ensues between both teams. Pavel Kochetkov hops right into the fight with zero hesitation after recording a shutout. Legendary stuff. The hate has been real this season, but the bigger picture news for the Panthers is Matthew Tkachuk leaving the game halfway through the second after taking a heavy hit from Svechnikov. Now the rough stuff didn't stop there as the Devils and the Rangers squared off and Nathan Bastian would have himself a really tough night. First, he takes this huge hit from rookie Matt Rempe, and that would result in a match penalty. Rempe is 6'8", he keeps his elbow tucked, but because of the size difference, he gets him in the head, and that's enough to apparently get you ejected in the current NHL. Some people didn't think it deserved a match penalty, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Bastian was in rough shape after that hit, but then after returning to the game later, he would get trucked by Jacob Trouba. Bastian got bullied tonight, and so did the Devils, as the Rangers made easy work of them, taking this 5-1. 9th win in a row for the Rangers, and they are officially wagons once again. We also have Patrick Wall giving his signature coaching move by pulling the goalie with 11 minutes left in the third, with them being down by 3. It went exactly how you thought it would go, with St. Louis potting the early empty netter and taking the game 4-0. Tough look. Nazem Kadri and the Flames continue to be the annoying kid that just won't go away, as they beat the Bruins in OT, and they get a much needed 2 points to stay within the wildcard race in the West. The Flames have been in the middle of trade rumors all season long between Tanev, Markstrom, Hanifin, and Lindholm, yet they're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. Friday, the boring bowl. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. In a week and season of chaos, Friday was pretty boring in terms of what we've been used to, so I'll keep her quick. The Sabres beat the Blue Jackets in the boring bowl. Nikolai Ehlers had a solid 2-goal night as the Jets found a way to squeak out a 3-2 OT win against the Bedards, and the late game saw the Wild pick up a huge win over the Oilers. That gives them their 6th win in the last 8, as they become a dark horse for the last wildcard spot in the West. Friday was a dud, but that's to get us rested and ready to go for a jam-packed Saturday night.
Saturday night, Rempe Madness. Saturday night was a crazy night of hockey, and as you can tell, I lost my voice while watching it. So let's dive into it. Rangers versus Flyers in the matinee game, and who else but Matt Rempe for the Rangers to set the tone with the fight of the year against Laurier. He left him with a nice shiner, and the Rangers were able to get going after this hit, as the kid is having himself an unbelievable debut this week in the NHL. With the game tied at 1, it would get even better. A Barclay Goodrow shot would deflect off of Rempe's skate and into the net in the third period, and that would be his first career goal and the eventual game winner. An incredible week and debut for the kid, who's taken the league by storm with 2 heavyweight tilts, an ejection, and now a game-winning goal. Rangers win 10 in a row, and Matt Rempe may be the new heavyweight in town to fight. The Bruins and the Canucks faced off, and Canucks fans can cope with 2011 a little bit easier knowing the outcome of this game. The Bruins were up by 2 at the end of the second, but a third period rally from the Canucks would force OT. The Brock star Brock Besser would get the OT winner and send fans home happy. Bruins have been choking a lot of leads lately, but I'm sure that everything will be just fine come playoff time. The Battle of Alberta also took place on Saturday, and once again, Nazem Kadri was getting under the skin of his opponents. Vladar played great for the Flames, the Oilers got frustrated, and Calgary takes an important 2 points to make the West wildcard race an absolute mess. Finally, to end it all off, it's safe to say that the Maple Leaf Cup parade is fully on, and it's going to be glorious. A big win over the Avs on Saturday as they came back from being down by 2 early and got some much needed depth scoring with a Tyler Bertuzzi hat trick. The Buds are buzzing and Leaf Nation is on cloud 9. Quick standings check at the end of the week. Boston and Vancouver are tied for first in the league, while the Chicago Bedards sit behind my future 2024 Cup winners in the San Jose Sharks for last place. So, what did you think about this week? What player or team surprised you? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you want to stay up to date with weekly NHL recaps and in-depth breakdowns, click on any of the videos here and subscribe to the channel.